Today on Monkey Life, a disturbing video of a sick male marmoset results in an urgent rescue mission for Alison.
The video clip is absolutely horrific. It's heartbreaking. It can bring tears to my eyes.
It may be too late to save the male, but Alison's been told there's a female at the same address.
We're going to be as respectful as possible, but if that female marmoset's in there, we're having her.
And back at the park, the clever capuchins have a tricky, sticky puzzle licked. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
You just never know how it's going to work.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 25 different species. This morning, Alison's preparing to leave on yet another rescue operation resulting from the UK's primate pet trade. And today's mission is one of the most upsetting she's had to deal with.
Today's really not a good day. It's a nightmare, actually. One of the, again, I feel like a Groundhog Day, one of the worst cases I've sort of heard about. But last week, I was sent a video clip of a male marmoset from the pet trade, and the video clip is absolutely horrific. It's heartbreaking. It can bring tears to my eyes. This poor male marmoset was on the floor, sort of unable to lift its head up, trying to eat some mealworms, and just clearly ricketed with bending, broken limbs, and in terrible, terrible condition.
The video was sent to Alison by the RSPCA, who were concerned about a pair of marmosets living in a house in Devon. The male marmoset in the video was taken to a vet by its owners, but didn't survive. The health of his female partner is unknown.
Where we are today is that a police warrant was sworn last week for the female marmoset, for us to enter the premises, well, for the police to enter the premises and give access to RSPCA and myself to go in and check and potentially seize the female marmoset, but also to see if we can find and locate the body of the dead male.
After seeing the footage of the male, called Pablo, Alison wants to do what she can to help the female. This morning, she's heading to Torquay to link up with the police and the RSPCA. It's a 2-hour drive to the town on the English Riviera. The warrants have been issued and all parties involved are meeting for a brief discussion at the police station.
Just trying to work out a plan, really, to make sure that it goes smoothly for the marmoset. There's also a dog at the property. And obviously, this is somebody's home, so we're going to be as respectful as possible.
It's a short drive to the owner's house, where police officers gain entry. After a brief chat, Alison is allowed in.
Hey, little girl.
And gets her first look at the female marmoset. It's being kept in a cage in the family's lounge with no outside access. But it does have fresh food and clean water within easy reach. The owner doesn't want to appear on camera, but is happy to talk to Alison.
How much did you pay for him?
I rescued them.
Oh, okay. Where did you get them from?
The both of them, I rescued them from a house where they wasn't being looked after, so we took them to see I wasn't doing a good enough job. Didn't know much about them either, so.
Yeah, he took them on. And now you've got all of this going down.
Yeah.
The man has been looking after the pair for about a year. The female marmoset is called Carly and is extremely nervous. Pablo, the male, is buried in the back garden. An RSPCA officer exhumes the body so it can be sent for a post-mortem.
It's the body of the male marmoset that died, as far as we can make out, around about 5 weeks ago. So that'll now go for veterinary examination to see what it was suffering from.
It's a tragic situation, but Alison's focus is on the welfare of Carly. The police are there to confiscate her, but Alison is hopeful she can persuade the marmoset's owner to sign her over to Monkey World. Chimps love routine, particularly at feeding time. Every morning, the bachelor boys have their breakfast in their outdoor enclosure. It's also an opportunity to enjoy some fresh air and let off a bit of steam. While the group are fully engaged outside, inside the primate care team get to work. There are bedrooms to clean and the playroom to prepare. Today, they're also busy making a surprise for the boys to help keep the group happy and active.
We have some donated raspberries, which is quite exciting for them, and also we've got some locusts as well going into the bottles. When we get donations come in, we do try and give them to them as often as possible, just because it is really quite exciting for them. Gets them to use their brains a bit as well, to work out how to get the stuff out of the plastic bottles. And yeah, hopefully they'll really enjoy it today.
Chimps eat insects and grubs in the wild, but the last time the bachelors were given something moving to eat, they weren't too enamoured. The huge hissing cockroaches definitely weren't to their taste. Today's locusts mixed in with fresh raspberries may persuade them to give it a go.
It does depend on the individuals, so some guys will go straight for them because, as I say, it's really exciting. Other ones will actually collect and hoard them. Someone like Sammy will actually get a little collection of the insects going, basically because he's really quite greedy, where someone like Charlie might not actually pay that much attention to the insects.
Time to see what the boys make of the lively locusts. The slide connecting the outside enclosure to the playroom is opened, and the boys waste no time heading back inside. Seamus is in first and runs across to greet Jeff.
Hey, buddy.
The rest of the group aren't far behind and immediately spot the clear plastic bottles. Raspberries are a favourite with many of the chimps, and each displays their own technique to reach them. Sammy uses his teeth and brute strength to break the bottle in two. He loves the main course of raspberries, but isn't so keen on the side dish that comes with it. His friend, 23-year-old Seamus, does things a little differently, cleverly unscrewing the bottle top using his teeth before tipping the fruit into his mouth. Seamus was born at the park to Mum Cherry after a birth control accident and holds a low-ranking position in the bachelor group. But he's well liked and a bit of a character. Jester is one of the more dominant boys. He strikes lucky finding a pile of raspberries on the floor and immediately hoovers them up. Most of the chimps ignore the locusts in favour of devouring the juicy fruit. Seamus, however, seems to be playing with one of the insects, holding it between his lips. Once the supply of raspberries is pretty much exhausted, the majority of the group head back outside, leaving some of the lower rankers to mop up any leftovers they can find. Charlie, however, is quite content just to chill out. At the domestic marmoset house, the team are preparing a bedroom for the potential new arrival, who could turn up within hours. They're waiting for news from Devon, where Alison is trying to persuade the owner of a female marmoset to sign her over to the care of Monkey World.
We'll need to prepare the facilities we've got here depending on how bad of a state this female is in.
It could be that she's all right condition-wise and isn't as bad as the male, in which case she can go into a normal marmoset bedroom. But if she's anything like him and has rickets anywhere near as severe as he does, we will probably not be able to put her into a normal marmoset bedroom. She will probably have to go into a smaller birdcage type scenario for at least a week or two, while we flood her with vitamin D3 and try and build her up and try and undo what damage we can.
It's good news. The owner has agreed to sign over the surviving female marmoset, called Carly, to Alison. He understands Carly will get all the specialist care and attention she needs at the park, something he can't provide.
I'm going to try and get Carly to walk into the box by scattering around some grapes and things. And some waxworms. Are you watching, missus? Look. Oh, so tasty. Yes.
But persuading the nervous little monkey into the travel crate is going to be a challenge.
Good girl. Come on, then.
Alison draws the curtains to help keep Carly calm. She tries to entice her into the box with waxworms.
I know. I wasn't fibbing, I got loads more.
But the female marmoset isn't convinced.
Well, she doesn't seem to want to be brave enough quite to walk in.
There's only one thing for it. Alison reaches in and quickly grabs her.
Yeah, I put a glove on. I've learned that lesson before. Basically, she's saying, no, I don't want to go in the box, because she knew that something was up. And in the end, you can offer them the opportunity, but at some point it becomes more stressful when you're stalking them with your box and your waxworm. So sort of a judgment call at what point that you finally just say, get it done, quick, over. And now she's calm in the box, and she's got a soft blanket in there. And some food, and we have water bottle for her outside, so.
Carly appears to be in reasonable condition, so could soon have the opportunity to bond with a new mate.
She's looking pretty good to me. I think she does need that D3, but other than that, we'll get her going, and potentially we'll check her feces, because our veterinarians can do that in-house for parasites. And if she's all healthy, then she'll meet Comet probably tomorrow. So, yeah. And hopefully she'll have a better attitude with him than she did me. Yeah.
With the paperwork signed and sealed, Alison is keen to get back to the park so Carly can settle in.
They actually signed her over to me, so I'm now Callie's new guardian. It's really good for her. Now we just have to make sure that she's fit and healthy and has a long life ahead of her.
Enriching the lives of the primates at the park is one of the care team's constant and most important undertakings, and it's a continuously evolving task. The aim is always to encourage natural behaviours and keep their charges engaged. To do this, the staff need to keep coming up with new ideas. But sometimes a good idea for one group can prove useful for another too. Like this mobile termite mound, which entertained the youngsters at the orangutan nursery. It proved such a hit that Toby is borrowing the idea and preparing to try it out on Erico's group of capuchins down at the lodge.
They're quite versatile, and we can use them in a number of ways. We use them like we do an artificial termite mound, where we hang them on the outside of the mesh and they have to reach through or poke sticks in to retrieve the treats. Or today, I'm actually going to suspend them in their outside enclosure, high enough up the ground so that they actually have to work a bit to get it, and they have to go along the hosing, and it will encourage Sean and Erico, hopefully, up off the ground a bit, because those two could do with doing just a little bit more climbing.
Toby is smearing the inside of the kongs, which are attached to the boards, with honey and adding the capuchin's breakfast of sliced bananas still in the skin. Hopefully the honey, being a high-value item, will keep some of the more dominant individuals busy, giving the others a chance to get involved.
The ability to climb varies in this group because there's a mixture. A lot of the older animals in here were wild caught before they were taken to the laboratory, so they're brilliant up the trees. Ringo, Abby Marlowe, Scarlet, Zoe, Binti will be right up the top of these trees on a sunny morning like this morning, getting the warmth. Erico can climb. He just can't be bothered sometimes. He doesn't need to so much because he's the dominant male. Sean isn't so great at climbing. He never has been, but obviously he has got the handicap of his fingers, which does hinder him. But yeah, everyone in this group is capable of doing at least some sort of climbing, so hopefully we'll get them up and off the ground and having to, use some different muscles for a change.
Leader Erico is first out. He immediately spots the hanging feeders and heads straight for them. Not the most enthusiastic climber, this morning sees his love of food and puzzles spurring him on to check them out. The rest of the group aren't far behind. The capuchins are soon trying various techniques to reach the sticky honey and banana. Abby balances at full stretch, while elderly Binti defies her age, showing strength and agility as she clings on with one hand and uses the other to reach in for the treat. Not everyone has left the ground. Low-ranking Caesar has worked out he can reach one of the boards just by standing tall. But most are having a good workout and showing off their Mission Impossible skills. The two newbies in the group are settling in well, and Matty appears to have now accepted Erico is the boss. His female friend, Louie, has fully embraced life in the large group. She's always on the go, loves climbing, and is finding today's task finger-licking good.
She's not one of the wild-caught ones like, say, the likes of Abby Marlowe and Scarlet, so seeing her climbing around like that and sort of using her tail and using her sort of balancing herself, it's really good. She'll have used all sorts of core muscles there because she sort of has to balance on top of the board while sort of reaching down and getting the banana out and getting the honey out. So yeah, she's done really well. She seems to have really sort of thrived with it.
In the wild, capuchin monkeys are found roaming the tropical forests of Central and South America. They're an arboreal species. They spend almost all of their time off the ground in the tree canopy, foraging and travelling safe from terrestrial predators. Capuchin monkeys live in large mixed groups of up to 35. A single dominant male leads the troop. The species is considered to be the most intelligent New World monkey, able to assess and solve problems, especially when it comes to food. Erico's group have certainly demonstrated their ability today.
This has been a really big success, and hopefully we can maybe make some more so we can spread them out more around the enclosure, and potentially we can try it on some of the other sort of smaller species on the park as well, like the lemurs and the spider monkeys and the squirrel monkeys.
After a long and stressful day, Alison has arrived back at the park from Devon with female marmoset Carly. Primate care staff are on hand and have prepared a bedroom for the new arrival.
All right, you're okay. Just set her down for a second.
Steph has organised a selection of food for Carly to choose from.
So I put a smattering of bugs in and just a couple of bits of grape and a couple of things. I want to overload her, and then I can always hand feed her a few bits.
Yeah, she likes crickets and mealworms.
Right, is everyone happy?
I think so.
Pop her in.
The marmoset needs to be tested for parasites and given an all-over health check before she can mix with others living in the house. Until then, she'll be in a bedroom on her own, but able to see and hear her neighbours.
Here we go. Hi. Hi there. Let me
Come on, Carly.
Carly is slow to emerge, despite the enticement of waxworms.
It's okay.
Fine little tops.
Feisty pants.
She makes constant frightened vocalizations as she begins to explore her new surroundings.
So she's feeling very feisty. She's wasted no time in telling us off for the situation, all these new people in this new place. Yeah, she looks pretty typical pet trade monkey. She's quite bright in her face, and she's quite sort of active. Bit of trembling in the arms and legs. Could just be nerves, because she's literally just moved into this scary new building with all these new faces and things she doesn't know. But it could also be from lack of moving on natural perching and not being able to climb about as much as she should be able to. Looks like a bit of a hunch spine there. There looks like a kink at the top of the back there, which would indicate rickets, which common pet trade issue. But yeah, we'll closely monitor over the next day or two, make sure we get some fecal samples so we can give her the all clear there, and just see what else we notice with her.
The team are happy to just observe until she calms down.
She's already gone into Steph's bed up there rather than her own, so I think she'll settle in just fine.
The park's vet nurse and primate care staff will assess Carly over the next few days. If she gets the all clear and is settled enough, she'll be introduced to a new partner called Comet and can begin her new life in safe surroundings with company of her own kind. Next time on Monkey Life. Alison takes additional precautions to protect many of the park's residents, following confirmation the global COVID pandemic can also affect apes.
If one chimpanzee in Hananya's group gets COVID-19, it's likely that all 17 will.
And, just like Dad, little Woolly Leroy shares a strawberry breakfast with Father Levar.